Hello and welcome to the first Be Safe, Stay Lit interview. Today we have Shannon Kelly from the Unscripted, Unapologetic podcast. Super excited to have her here. Shannon, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
We're super excited to have you. So as you know, Be Safe, Stay Lit, our mission is just to inform millennials on how to safely partake in Friday night. Um, it's a problem for the community. It's not for the cops anymore. We're starting to see more and more younger overdoses and just more abuse. And like I say, it's a community issue. So what I wanted to do is reach out to the community and and just talk about you guys' thoughts and feelings and maybe some of your experiences. So I think that's where we'll start. Shannon, what are some of your experiences with recreational substance use or even maybe abuse?
Well, I have to tell you, like I've been around for 50 years now, so drug use has changed a lot in my day. So,
For
we
sure.
went from smoking weed and doing, hash knifers before school to we were
Yeah,
wild and crazy in our day too, right? I think in this day and age, the drugs are a lot scarier than they were in my day. There's a lot
no,
of
for
stuff
sure.
going on. Yeah.
Um,
As a parent, it's very frightening.
well, and maybe you could talk a little bit about how you've seen some of those changes take place, and like what are those changes that you've seen? What are the differences between back in the day, maybe just in a little more detail?
Um, okay, well, for instance, the cocaine was pure. It wasn't cut with a bunch of stuff, right? It wasn't cut with
Exactly.
fentanyl and all this
Mm-hmm.
crap that you don't know what you're getting, right?
Yep.
Um, it wasn't as scary back then. We were doing acid, we were doing mushrooms, um, we were doing nature-based
For
um,
sure.
drugs, right? So
It was about the journey, right?
yeah, it was more so about the journey. It wasn't about it was about having fun and getting in touch with ourselves for sure.
No, exactly. So I think that you said it, right? That's some of the changes we've seen where now people, yeah, they're trying to find themselves and escape, but they're trying to escape from something that's a lot different, I think, than not so much different, right? We all went through the same kind of stuff, but nowadays I think it's so much more glorified, and the substance use isn't is glorified in the wrong way, right? I mean, I myself have had many mushroom trips where you see beautiful things, you have beautiful thoughts, and it's a beautiful memory that you cherish. And then I've had other experiences where it's not so good, and I've maybe gotten myself into some trouble, or I was very frightened and stuff. And I think that's where Be Safe, Stay Lit comes in, right? I think it's important for us to get these stories out there, for people to learn from. I think that academia, they don't give us what we're looking for. There's
Well,
a huge bridge.
we're not going to the school of hard knocks, right? We're going to this society conformed education system that we're in. So,
Exactly.
I think a lot of times too, like our world has changed so much. So, when we talk about doing mushrooms or having an adventure like that, it's really important to know that you're in a safe place, that you're with friends, you want to make the best of your trip that you're going to be on, in a safe environment, with people who
Exactly.
can take care of you, right? You want it because all the outside experiences or the stuff that's going on outside will affect your trip in some way. So
For sure. And maybe what do you think are some of the things that would contribute to that not being able to happen in society? Like, why do you think that there isn't that place, right? People don't have that mindset of, I need to be in a good place. They don't have any education, right?
well, that's just it. There's just not enough information out there on it, right? And it's been criminalized for so long that
Hmm.
it's, our society deems that to be just a really bad behavior instead of um, something that could well, it could help your mental health. basically.
No, for sure. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because real briefly, I'd like to speak on some of those powerful mind altering drugs that are now being used in science to do just that, to treat mental health and stuff. Now, I'd encourage everyone to go check out Mind Medicine. They're a company, they're doing extraordinary things. I'll do another video on that later. But Shannon, have you ever heard of Bill SS 229?
Not really. A little bit. A little bit. I've heard a little bit. Actually, just some information that I received from your website and from you personally. So it's interesting. It's interesting to see the changes that are going on in our society, reducing the stigma about it, and how
Yes.
how people are realizing that things need to change.
And all of this is it's coming pretty close from home. This is a Saskatoon drug chief, his organization, who put me onto it, actually. And yeah, Bill SS 229 is a decriminalization law. And what decriminalization of some of these substances would do is take money out of the hands of the criminals. That's what criminalization does. It creates criminals. And then now we're perceived as criminals for using or for whatever. But I'd like to give you a scenario, Shannon, one that I've actually gone through myself. So now imagine you're an addict and you have some drugs in your pocket. You're out one night, you're arrested. You're taken into jail for the night, maybe a day or two. Your drugs are taken from you. You're released back into the street with nothing except your addiction. Well, what do you go and do? You go commit another crime to get the drugs that you need, and you wind up, it's a vicious cycle, right?
It is a vicious cycle, for sure it is.
Now, the cops' role in that is doing their job, taking a criminal off the streets, right? That's why this isn't a problem for the cops, it's a problem for the community. We have to change some of the laws that are surrounding these substances and what happens when you get picked up.
Yeah.
So I've heard conversations about getting taken into an extensive care unit right then. Instead of getting arrested, you're taken to an immediate interview with an extensive care. You're discussed. Like, you talk about these things, and you're not just pushed to the side.
Well, and it's about meeting people where they're at, right? Like what has caused you to be in that situation in the first place? What are the traumas and the experiences that you've had in your life that have led you to where you are right now? And how can we move forward in a positive way?
Exactly. That's really what we're trying to do here. Like I say, we're just trying to get the community involved. And Shannon, I really appreciate you having you here to discuss some of this stuff. I'd like to let all the fans know out there to stay tuned for a Be Safe, Stay Lit post in your next magazine.
Yes. I'm a big supporter of what you guys are doing. I am, I've lived through it myself. I see the youth in our communities really, I see them reaching out for help and they're not getting it. I think our society puts so much pressure and expectation on our youth, and I think that's what causes so much depression and anxiety. And I see our kids turning to drugs, and I am not saying drugs are bad. I'm saying that we need to be educated on how to use them in a positive way. And we need to support our youth. We need to be the leaders in our communities and show them the way, because that's where they're going to thrive.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Shannon. So real quick before we wrap up here, I just have one question. Do you support harm reduction?
Yes, I do. In every way that I can. You bet I do.
Well, I definitely say that it's time for us to make some change, Shannon. So thank you so much for having you here today.
Hey, you're most welcome. Thanks for having me. If there's any time that I can help out again, please let me know.
Oh, we definitely love to have you back. So we'll get something in the books for that. And I'd just like to remind everyone out there to stand in the crowd and make a difference, you guys, not a scene. Be safe, stay lit.
Be safe, stay lit.